Hey everyone, Sumo Spiffy here. The Kyushu Basho is over, Kirishima has won, and it is time to brew up some instant Banzuke for January of 2024. This is gonna be a fun one. If you know why, then you know. But let's start like normal. Let's do the math and get everybody sorted out first. Alright, as you can see at the bottom here, I'm trying something a little bit different. I'm lining up a whole bunch of people, but instead of stacking them all up in one slot, I'm putting the winners on the left and the winners from Makushita on the left and the losers from Juryo on the right. Not everybody here is ready to be demoted. Like Yuma is fine, Hideno Umi is fine, Chio Sakai, maybe we'll talk about it. But for now, let's get to Makuuchi, because that's the most interesting part of the whole thing. All right, as we can see up top, when we do the calculations, exactly 42 guys have earned a spot in Makuuchi, which makes our lives very, very simple in terms of who's going to be in the division next time and who isn't. So we don't really have to worry about that too much. Let's start at the top and start ordering these guys. Terunofuji, of course, is at the top and will be there until he retires, unless Kirishima wins in January, makes it to Yokozuna. Then in March, Teru will be 1 East, Yokozuna 1 East, and Kiri will be Yokozuna 1 West. But if Terunofuji still doesn't fight, but stays on the Banzuke, then Kiri will move from 1 West to 1 East in the Basho after, in May. Now at that point, the way things are going, it looks like Terunofuji will have retired by then. But just laying it out there as how this could go in theory. That's how this whole thing functions. Hoshoryu, 10-5, he'll move up to 1 West. Takakeisho, 9 wins, he will go to 2 West because the Ozeki get put in the order of how they finished. I don't remember how much I've talked about this, but the Sekiwake used to get treated the same way as the Ozeki. They used to get ordered basically by how they finished, and if that meant switching them around, that would be fine. They've stopped doing that in the last, 10, 15 years, unless there's a huge gap between them. 2 wins is generally not enough. And in any case, Kota no Waka, with 11 wins at Sekiwake 2 East, he's able to move up because Wakamoto Haru is dropping out. So he's getting a quote-unquote promotion anyway, so there's really no reason for them to mess with this. Daisho's going to stay at 1 East, Sekiwake 1 East, and Kota no Waka will move to 1 West. Takayasu is by far the best guy to replace the Komusubi with Abi and Hokuto Fuji dropping out. And the next one up is Ura. Yeah, baby. Pinky got it. Pinky getting that cash for 1 Basho anyway. He started off horrendously, came back, got his Kachikoshi, put himself in a position to get this promotion. I am just going to enjoy this for now, and I hope you do too if you're an Ura fan. It is worth noting that a Komusubi who is struggling does not get their schedule made as easy as quickly as a Maegashira wrestler, even Maegashira 1. So Ura, if he struggles at the start again next time, it's probably going to be even harder for him to come back and make a winning record happen. Not impossible, but even harder. But you know what? He got there. He's getting that extra paycheck for at least 2 months. Let's just enjoy it. He earned it. Great job, Pinky. We love to see it. Atami Fuji could have mathematically gotten ahead of Ura. I don't think they would have actually put him at Komusubi ahead of Ura, even if the math said they should, though. They've been moving guys from lower down, especially that mid-division level, up very, very high, but not ahead of guys that they're slightly ahead of mathematically. So I don't think there would have been any issue with Ura losing his spot to Atami Fuji if Atami Fuji had won. Now, Midori Fuji, if it had been between Midori and Atami, I think Midori would have been given the Komusubi slot for the same reasons. However, Atami and Midori are going to be Maegashira, which means there's no reason to say, oh, well, Midori was higher up, we should give it to him, he was whatever. I think Itami is just going to get slid over to Maegashira 1 East, and then Midori, with him technically being tied with Wakamoto Haru, but Wakamoto Haru being the Sekiwake. See, this is one where they would have always given the Sekiwake the preference in the past. And I think they might here too, but it's hard to say. I got to think about this one. Wakamoto Haru and Midori Fuji are going to be 1 West and 2 East in some order, but I'm not 100% sure what that order is going to be. Likewise, Gonoyama and Abi. Gonoyama, I got it right now. I'm going to put Abi ahead just for the sake of consistency, but this is also something where, depending on the tournament, they can go either way with this. So Abi and Gonoyama are going to be 2 West and 3 East, so this is going to be real fun for Guess the Banzuke players. That's fine, no big deal. Tobizaru is going to, despite his loss, not move anywhere. There's just no one to take his place. Nobody did so well from a position where they could get ahead of him. So 7 and 8, Maegashira 3 West, he'll just stick there, which is just, that's Tobizaru doing Tobizaru things. Shodai and Ryuden. Now in this case, I am kind of thinking that Ryuden might get pushed ahead. I'm not really sure. I'm going to stay consistent. They're tied, so I'm going to put Shodai ahead of Ryuden, but these guys should be at Maegashira 4 in either order, but I don't know which one yet. Hokuto Fuji and Nishikigi. Well, Nishikigi is going to lose a rank, and Hokuto Fuji is coming down from Komusubi. This one, I'm inclined to think Hokuto Fuji is definitely going to get the benefit here. They're tied. They both had losing records. Nishikigi got a little bit of a benefit last time. I'm not saying that they take that into consideration, but this makes more sense to me. The other ones, between the winning records and the losing records, feel like a coin flip. This one feels less so. I think Hokuto Fuji is going to get this one. We slide Kinbozan over, since he's got that empty space ahead of him. Shonen no Umi, likewise, is going to get the little bump. Ichi Yamamoto, also, I believe that's going to be a career high rank for him. I'm not going to turn this into a rant about false starts in sumo. I'm going to just say, go look at the tape, especially from the last couple of days. He gets big jumps that don't get called. And because of his extremely aggressive style, that is a huge benefit for him. That is a huge plus for him in trying to get these wins. Now, if the Gyoji are going to call it that way, then so be it. His opponents need to be able to respond to that. They need to adjust. But it's not going to be the toughest thing to adjust to. As far as strategy in a fight, all the different things that can happen in the middle of a bout, there's tons of stuff. But just not doing a slow tachi has to be something that guys at this level can stop doing, at least against one particular opponent who's going to take advantage. Unless Ichi's got another trick up his sleeve, this looks like it's going to be bad for him next time. But you know what? Ichi fans, enjoy this one. He did great. Asanoyama and Hokuseiho. Asanoyama, having been in the Joy, I think is going to get the buff, the little benefit here, the little half rank decrease in his demotion. Also, Hokuseiho is just incredibly disappointing, and it seems like they are perfectly happy bumping him back whenever possible. So Asanoyama should get the 50-50 there. And now we are in a position where everybody is going to get bumped back some, because we have a little bit of a logjam. Not too much of one, but a little bit. And that can make this challenging to deal with. Koto Shoho is actually kind of a false flag. I don't want to start sounding like one of those conspiracy theorists, but he looks like he's getting in the way, but he's really not. He's going to get bumped way back. So it's really between Hirota Umi and Mataki Umi. Well, Mataki Umi, he's got only a 1 rank bump here, so I think Hirota Umi is going to get the advantage. Yes, they've been doing winning records, or better records over higher rank to start with. I don't know if maybe that's just a mood I'm in right now, but I just keep looking at these like, no, it seems like it makes sense for the guy with the slightly better record to just get a little bit less of a promotion because he's still going up a lot. There's a good chance that this one is going to change more for my actual Guess the Banzuke entry than a lot of these end up doing, but we'll see. So Koto Shoho, we're going to ignore for now. But Meisei and Tamawashi, now we've got a lot of actual Makuuchi guys to deal with. If Meisei gets bumped back, are they going to do that? Probably not, because he's dropping pretty far anyway. So I'm going to switch this so that it all slides back automatically, and we'll move Tamawashi back. So if we move Tamawashi to here, bing. All right. So Tamawashi, Sadano Umi, Tsurugisho, Oho, Takanosho getting an extra half rank demotion. How do we feel about that? I don't know that they're going to care, because Myogiryu is also getting that, and if you don't do that, where are you going to put them? Sadano Umi and Oho have to go where they're sitting right now on the screen, or else if they go lower, they don't get a promotion at all, which isn't going to happen. The only thing you can do is start bumping Tamawashi and Tsurugisho back even further. That's possible, but considering that in this case, Takanosho and Myogiryu, and Endo are all just getting an extra half rank of demotion, I don't think they're gonna get any kind of an advantage. That half rank of over demotion has been something the committee has been much more willing to do recently. So let's just assume that's gonna happen for now. So now we have Churno Umi, Endo, and Onisho, because remember, Bushozan's coming up from Juryo, so he kind of doesn't count for this. So Onisho can slide over, he'll get exactly the demotion he's supposed to. And again, this is one where it's a big demotion. They're more likely to do this now than they have been in the past, but are they really going to do it? Maybe. Tomokaze can get bumped up a rank, or a half a rank. Takara Fuji can go up that extra full rank, really. Now let's start moving these guys down. Kota Shoho here, Onosato after him. We're going to put Shimazu Umi. Remember, we've lost the guy out of the Sanyaku, so now it's going to go down to 17 West. Aoyama can come up to here, and Bushozan will fall into the middle of that group. Does this make sense? Kinda, yeah. The only reasonable alternative I can see, so let's say they want to make sure that Tomokaze and Takara Fuji get their full demotions. You would move Tomokaze to 13 East, Takara Fuji, or to 15 East, Takara Fuji to 16 East. Kota Shoho would come up to here, and Onosato would come up to here. Are they going to do that? I have my doubts. Bear in mind that last tournament, even though Ichi Yamamoto and to a lesser extent Tomokaze were in similar positions as far as how far up the Banzuke they moved mathematically, they did not get any kind of a benefit at all over anybody in Makuuchi other than Nishiki Fuji, who was given about the smallest demotion he possibly could. In this case, Tomokaze being at 14 West is fine. Takara Fuji being at 15 East is fine. So there's really no reason to think that the Juryo guys are going to be in any positions other than just getting stacked up at the bottom of the division. So there we go. That's Makuuchi, Ura, Komusubi, yeah. Even if it never happens again, hey, he was Sanyaku. That has benefits for the guy once his career is over, I think. As far as, what is it, Elder Stock? I don't know. He just gets called a Komusubi. Like when in his post-sumo career, they call him a Komusubi, kind of like a retired United States senator is called senator because they got to that level, right? This is awesome. Ura is a Komusubi. This kicks ass. The rest of the division, whatever. I'll think about it later. I'm just enjoying the moment. Now, sliding down to Juryo, there's 35 guys here, which means 7 of them have to come out. And that's going to be at the bottom. We'll get to that in a second. Now, the first question is, do Daiamami and Mitoryu get their full promotions to Juryo 1 while Nishiki Fuji and Tohakuryu and all these guys get dropped past them? I genuinely don't know. Nishiki Fuji, I think, has the best bet of staying ahead of these guys and going to Juryo 1 East, but from 16 West, he only had another half rank to go before he was at the bottom of the division, so he's dropped pretty far. I'm just going to leave him at Juryo 2 East. That seems safest. Let's start bumping these guys up. Roga goes here. Tamashoho is almost back up to where he was before that disastrous September. Chiyoshima, starts that slow crawl back up to Makuuchi, although like Aoyama, he wasn't even that competitive in Juryo, so I don't know how his Makuuchi career, if he has one, going forward is going to be. Kitanowaka can go up. Oshoma is going to be fortunately not going too far down, although for once he's not exactly Juryo 4 something. Kotoeko, actually, Oshoma I think is going to slide over here, and they'll probably let Kotoeko only take that much of a demotion. And in fact, they might even do less than that. Because Kitanowaka, see, Kitanowaka is coming down. So how about this? Kitanowaka slides over. Chiyoshoma will be where we have Kotoeko now. Tamashoho is getting an extra rank of promotion in this case. I don't know if they're going to keep him back just to keep Kitanowaka and Kotoeko a little bit further up. It would make some sense, given that you've got Tohokuryu and Roga and Kitanowaka. They probably want to keep them all in a similar area, since they were all one rank apart and they had all the same record. But this is probably okay. This will probably be fine. If anything, we might see Kotoeko end up moving up to Juryo 3 West. So Tamashoho is probably going to be from 3 West to 4 West, somewhere in there. It's really dependent on where they decide to bring the Makuuchi demotees. But everybody is going to get a little bit of a buff because it's kind of empty at the top of Juryo right now. So I'm not going to worry too much about that. Toki Hayate, now that we're out of Makuuchi promotees, this is pretty straightforward. Does Takahashi? Now, Takahashi's already going to get an extra rank. Kageyaki, given the way they have treated Shimanoumi and Azumaryu, if that's a thing they do for guys who have had long careers, probably Kageyaki ends up with that half rank less demotion compared to Takahashi's promotion. Shishi, disappointing tournament. Not sure what the problem was. Maybe he's hit his level, but it just looked like he was struggling. He didn't look like the same guy. We'll get Shimanoumi up some, and then Shiden can go up, and Asakoryu can go up. And now it gets a little interesting. Daishoho was Juryo 7 East. Juryo 9 West, okay, that's 2.5 ranks down on 5 and 10. That's probably okay. Now, Yuma cannot go above Juryo 13 East, because he was 7 and 8. Hideno Umi was Juryo 11 West, but he had 6 wins. Really the highest he should logically end up is Juryo 12 West. He could go to 12 East, but he has to be demoted to some degree. Chiyo Sakai could stay at Juryo 14 West. That is possible. Because remember, we got to get 7 guys out of here. Now, Azumaryu, 100% gone. Hakuoho, 100% gone. Hitoshi, 100% gone. Takekento, 100% gone. And now what do we do? Well, how many of these guys coming up from Makushita actually earned because they tend to do, it looks like, regular math, especially for the guys who are like 4 and 3, 5 and 2. It gets a little weird in Makushita, but still, all these 4 and 3 guys don't have to get promotions, except that there are people who have to be demoted. There are those guys who have to be demoted. So from here out, most likely, it's the guys at the bottom of the Makushita list who just aren't going to get promoted. That would mean Chiyo Sakai is going to probably sit at 14 East. He might get bumped down to 14 West, but we'll think about that in a second. Chiyomaru, 4 and 11. He should be a half rank. Actually, Akawa should be ahead of Tenshoho. So this is the order these guys should go in. Now, you absolutely cannot have Akawa and Tenshoho ending up around Maegashira 10. They're going to probably be, let's see, if he's at, really? Is he going to get 2 ranks of demotion on 5 and 10? It's a thing that happens. And then Tenshoho gets 3 there. And Chiyomaru, if he goes there, 3.5 ranks on 4 and 11, they could do 3. They could do just 3. They could do even less if they really wanted to. But let's see. Then we've got Takeru Fuji. I'm not actually sure how to say that one. He's going to go up for sure. He should end up at Juryo 10 East unless they're ultra nice to Chiyomaru. Haku Yozan to Juryo 10 West. You know what? I don't like it. Chiyomaru gets a little bit of an even nicer bump up. So he should lose 2.5 ranks on 4 and 11. But who's going to take his place? Hakuyozan 4 and 3 at Maegashira 1 East. That's a pretty big jump. And then 2 West 4 and 3 going to here. Oh boy. But there's really nowhere else for him to go. If Chiyo Sakai stays here at Juryo 14 East, then Tochi Musashi would be the next one in line to go to 14 West. And that would mean Sushi Minada, Wakataka Kage, and Kaio are not going to get promoted, which, considering their ranks and records, actually makes a lot of sense. But there is one awkward thing with this outcome, and that is Sushi Minada won what is often referred to as an exchange bout with, what's his name? Takakento. In these kind of fights where essentially they're setting up matches where if the guy from Juryo wins, he should be able to keep his spot, and if the guy from Makushita wins, he should go up to Juryo, that means Sushi Minada should go up. But then somebody else has to come out. Who's that gonna be? In theory, it should be Tenshoho, because he was mathematically a half rank behind Chiyo Sakai. But with the same exchange bout logic, he won his match, so he should keep his spot. So does that mean Chiyo Sakai gets dropped out, even though he's absolutely, in normal circumstances, not going to get kicked out for a 4 and 3 Makushita 4 guy? I don't know. This is really unusual to me. I have not spent long enough paying attention to the Juryo Makushita switches to know how this should turn out. Chiyo Sakai, by the math, should really stay in the division. But because of the way the exchange bouts worked, I don't know if he will. We could end up with this, we could end up with this, or in theory, we could also end up with this. I'm inclined to think they're not going to kick Chiyo Sakai out unless the exchange bout is that important, but I guess we'll find out. Alright, that's going to do it for our instant Banzuke. I hope you found it nice and tasty the way we like to make it. Just enjoy the pink drink for now, or is going to be a komusubi, no doubt about it. Let me know what you think of everything else. Honestly, in this one, I'm really open to suggestions of how everybody thinks this will go, because there are so many 50-50s. Let me know what you think in the comments. Do the whole like and subscribe thing if you feel like it. If not, that's cool, no big deal. Yeets to come. I will see you soon.